So, hi guys. This is Sharon. I'm still chronicling my vacation. I'm about to just wind down and get ready to go sleep. I actually uploaded another video, so I let my frustration drive me to work harder. But no, it was actually fun. I'm enjoying the process of creating these videos and uploading them and learning more about that whole entire process, and hopefully get better and become like a really good and consistent content creator. So even though I've been having my frustrations with other things, that's been a saving grace. Like, I think that's one thing I've learned throughout the past month, that having creative outlet, especially when like your body or physically you can't do something, or like you just have a hang up, it's been a saving grace. And then also it's just helped me just, I don't know, I feel like with this vacation so far, I've learned just a short amount of time to be grateful for the things I have and appreciate things, including people. I've had some situations lately where I've been wanting to cut people out of my life, and some of the people deserve to be cut off. Like, let's get that straight. Some people do not deserve my energy, but others, I think I'm just being a little just too harsh to a certain degree. And as much as I want to protect my energy, I also don't want to be someone who has to protect themselves from my energy. You know, I don't want to be that either. And so I've been trying to find a balance and trying to help figure that out, I feel like. And just the interactions I've been having, both with the vacation and also outside of it. Basically people who are back home who are supporting me in a way. It's been awesome. It's been really cool. And I've been just a lot, you know, I guess one thing I've been trying to be better about is have gratitude. And I definitely am having a lot more gratitude right now. I'm not getting emotional. Looks like I am, but like, no, it's no. No. But I guess also the other reason why I wanted to like hop up here is I thought I had the story time, and it was actually going to be in my video that I was uploading, I think, for day, I don't know what day it was. 4. It was day 4/day 3, full day 3. I basically thought I was going to have that. I had story time in there, and that was when my mic went dead. So I had to cut that whole entire part off, so I didn't even get the story time out. So I'm going to do it now, okay? Yeah. So, why this trip has just been interesting. It looks probably like on video it has been interesting, but child, I did give you a story time, I think, during the hike. You're going to get another story time, actually probably same time as this, or I don't know how I'm going to do it. We'll figure it out. But so, okay. How did this trip start? So we already know about my broken toe. I've said it 1,000 times. You guys are probably sick of it. That was kind of a little bit of how this started, right? Prior to that, I was actually on track for training. I was actually getting faster. I was losing weight, mainly because that's when I started really meal prepping and just being a lot more strict with my diet and stuff. So I was really, and also too, my depression finally is like gone. And when I get depressed, I store fat. And the reason why I store fat is actually because I stopped eating. And so I don't eat properly, and so it basically just makes my metabolism go to hell. So yeah, so when I'm really depressed, I gain weight. And so I was gaining weight and just, you know, whatever. Anyway, we're past that now. And so leading up to this race that I kind of didn't even really want to do to begin with, I was getting, my 5Ks were becoming faster, like on their own. Like I was actually starting to see results, and then I just stupidly the toe. That's what started. And then the next shortcoming was, I'm working on this project at work, like my actual regular job, and I actually need to work. I can't take the full 8 days off. I want to, but it's going to be hard for me, and it's just going to be a bad look if I do it. So I have to work. And so based off of just the timing of things. So that's when we added on those 2 days. So basically I didn't really get to vacation the first 2 days of being here. And I already knew that was going to be a possibility. And so that's what ended up happening with that. Now you probably are wondering, well, why don't you just do the vacation like this day and then make it a following week or whatever? I didn't want to do that because high key, there's this running club I go to once a month. And it's only once a month. It's always the first Saturday of the month. And they're the reason why I'm in such better spirits. So I don't want to not go to that group. They're one of the reasons. They've helped me find myself in a good way. So yeah, that was kind of not really a possibility for me. So yeah. Anyway, so fast forward, day of trip. And also leading up to day of trip, I'm just a nervous wreck. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I want things to go out well. And also too, from a personal standpoint, the person who's watched my cats, we haven't really been in speaking terms. And so it just made it where I was like, oh my gosh, I just don't want drama. I'm really trying to move forward. And that's been my theme, I would say, for all this year. I want moving forward, in the words of Miss Misha at IMO. By the way, watch her. She's awesome. But anyway, that's been my theme, moving forward, right? And yeah, anyway, so that's another thing. So it's just a lot of just anxiety and just stuff going on leading up to this vacation. And also, we already said in the previous video, ideally my vacation would have been just Arizona the whole entire time. But just this dangling carrot of a free race, particularly a half marathon, so state checked. It's too, I have to grab it, right? So anyway, fast forward, day of the of going to Vegas. I am like, and also I took the time to like pack 2 days in advance so that like I would be ready to go. And for whatever reason, so like I was overpacked. So me forgetting things, that wasn't a problem, at least when it came to the packing of it all and me getting here. So that was going to be a non-issue. But then day of trip. I'm having more anxiety than I've had in a minute trying to go to this trip. Because for one, I realize my cats, and this is going to sound nuts, I'm going to literally probably sound like cat lady, they've been like my emotional support. So I'm freaking out. I'm actually getting teary-eyed trying to leaving my cats. And yeah, that was the whole thing. And I think I said in the video, but I was like, I'm fine. But I was actually a kind of a wreck. And so as a result, it took me longer to get out the door. But I thought I had plenty of time. Because I thought, and I think I did say in the video, that I read the time the flight was, thinking that was like my boarding time. Like, I got them confused. And I know they're not the same thing. I know that. And I totally messed up. So it basically pushed. So fortunately, because I am a regular customer of this airline, they hooked it up and got me to like the next flight. And the flight that I ended up going on was like, it actually turned out from a flight standpoint, it didn't suck because like it wasn't a full flight, and the flight that I was on that should have been on was a full flight. And this last flight was like no one was on this plane, which was great because like I literally was probably the most relaxed I've ever been on the plane from like a sleeping standpoint, like ever. Well, for the most part. I'll go into that why it's on paper it was awesome, but then it turned out not to be awesome. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, crap. Missed my flight, the original flight, but it's okay. Now I know exactly where to go, and I actually plopped myself down at like a restaurant at the airport where I could literally see my terminal and literally see like my airline, so I can like check my bags as soon as I was ready. So I did that. So the second time around wasn't an issue. And also that day is when I actually realized I'm about to be bougie. I became a clear customer that day. I was like, yep, I ain't having no lines. I'm done with the lines aspect of things. And then probably the next trip I go on, I'm probably going to become pre-TSA check too. I'm not doing the lines anymore. I'm just over it. I fly enough for me. For me, I think I fly enough where I could do that. Because to me, if you fly at least twice to 3 times a year, just get the check. Just do that. It's worth it. Especially if you're going through a major airport, and 9 times out of 10 I am, because I live in a major city. Just pay for it. and also too, Clear had like a free trial, so I didn't even have to pay for it right away. And I may not even keep it. Like, we'll see on the way back if it's gonna be worth it. But I like not having no line, because I was in it. I basically I got right to where I need to go right away, and after that I didn't have to rush. And then basically fast forward. Because of that delay, though, I was at that airport for most of the day. Because I was not leaving the airport after I got there. Because I already parked and everything else. I was not going to do all that. I was like, you know what? I'm here. No. We're just going to wait it out. So anyway, flying. So now, we get on the plane, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I have anywhere to sit. So basically everyone who basically sat on this plane, unless they knew someone, had their own row. And it was a larger plane too, so there was exit rows like galore. I just wasn't going to do that because the way I just felt that this day was going, I was just terrified that I actually would have to practice the emergency exit thing in real life. That was like where my anxiety was at. I was like, man, this will be the day where I actually would have to like listen to what they're talking about when it comes to these exit rows. So I was like, nope, it's fine. And since it was a larger plane, the seats, when there's a larger plane, you know, clearly for those who fly, they know, you know that when it's a larger plane, you have more room, leg room. So I was like, okay, whatever, it's a larger plane, so I have leg room, so it's gonna be all good. So anyway, I'm trying to nap, trying to chill, do my own thing, enjoying myself, have a row to myself, and then the turbulence starts. And they just keep talking about this turbulence. And so I'm not getting sick because it's a big enough plane where the turbulence isn't like making me motion sickness. And also the caveat of, because I was at the airport all day, the only thing I had to eat all day at this point was a cookie, like a quinoa, no, it was a cookie, like a quinoa egg, muffin that I made for myself, one of my meal prep things, and then like an Impossible burger. and some chips. But like, this was like not all at once. This was all throughout the day. Like, I basically was grazing. And so I didn't really have that full of a stomach. And at this point, I was actually getting hungry because I had that burger like at like 12. And at this point now, it's like 7 o'clock at night. Like, it's dinner time. It actually is legit dinner time. So, and because I'm on a schedule at all times, I was like starving. So the turbulence is happening, right? And then they're like, oh, and also too, I forgot to mention, side note, we actually boarded and left earlier than what the playing time said. We left probably about like 5-10 minutes earlier. But because of the turbulence and we were going into winds, like, and I didn't have any idea how bad the winds were, but I found out. Through turbulence, kind of, that the turbulence was a hint, but oh man, I find out later on how bad the winds really were. So because the winds were so bad, and also Colorado's having winter storms or whatever, we had to do like this, you know, the plane, I guess, has to fly against the wind or something like that. I forgot what it is exactly, but they had to do the opposite what they would do. So the flight was no longer direct. Even though it was like a one-way, it was a nonstop flight, it was no longer like they're going directly there. They had to like basically fly around. So it basically delayed the plane and it landing by like an hour and a half. So I was supposed to like touch down at 7:30, but I didn't really touch down until like 8:30, which wouldn't be a problem, but because I was already late from when I scheduled my original rent-a-car pickup, they gave me a 6-hour window. And now I'm cutting it really close. Now it's like, okay, now I went from having 5 hours with an hour to spare to now maybe 30 minutes tops. Maybe. Okay. So now, after the turbulence and all this is happening, and we finally land, right, to the airport. So we're at the airport, and also too, mind you, up until this point, I have to pee so badly because again, my bladder and all of us were counting on us getting there on this original time that they said because we left early, and also too, if I wouldn't have been there right then and there, I probably would have missed the plane because they boarded early and we left early. So like I had to do what I had to do as far as getting on the plane. So I get to the airport and I immediately beeline to the restroom. But I didn't know how efficient this airport really is when it comes to this baggage claim. They were throwing the bags before you got there. So I finally get to the baggage claim area to get my bags. And I've been standing there forever. I don't see anyone from my flight there, number one, which is scary. Number two, I don't see my bags anywhere. And I keep going back and forth like, okay, it says like bag claims 5. So I keep going there, but I don't see, like, I see my flight and stuff there, right? But I don't see anyone there for my flight because it was such a small flight, I kind of recognize everyone's face was on the flight because it wasn't really that many people that were on this damn flight, right? And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't see anyone from this flight and I don't see my bags. What is going on? And then it went from having like my flight there on the baggage claim area to then it was gone. And then I see all these then I saw like, I think it was like Portland or something like that instead. And they skipped over to Portland. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? And then they already got their stuff right away too. So now I'm freaking out. I was like, okay, let me go to the Southwest claim thing. So I went to the Southwest claim thing. And yeah. Also, too, this is after I've already been waiting like 30 minutes. And I'm just like looking at the clock like, crap, I'm not going to be able to get to my rent-a-car on time. because it would be one thing if I was flying back from Vegas, but because I'm doing the pickup from a different location, that's what makes me getting a rent-a-car not guaranteed. That's the other caveat. So remember that, guys. Remember that. So now I'm like, okay, I don't have my bags. What is happening? What is going on? So I went to the claims thing, and I'm talking to them about it, and they were like, yeah, we checked the computer and your bags never left O'Hare. And I'm like, none of my bags are here? Like, none of them? So now it's taking everything in me not to completely panic. Because now I am actually truly panicking. Because now the only clothes I have are the clothes that are on my back. And I've been in this airport for hours. I probably stank, okay? And I'm just like, this is all I have to wear? And they're like, no, you can get them tomorrow. But they were like, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll get them like at 7 a.m. or something like that, right? No, they're like 3 p.m. It will be the first flight from Chicago here. And I'm like, wait, what? Are you kidding me? And so in my head, I was like, well, at least it's a good thing that I had my work computer and like my creative computer. Like, I recently just purchased like a whole entire laptop bag for like my content / also my work stuff, so that I can actually carry them and it's like a little bit more secure. And unfortunately I had those as carry-ons. So I had that on me, so I actually would still be able to work. So that wasn't the issue. Thank God. Thank God I did that. Because I would have been extra freaked out if all of a sudden now I came and work and they don't have my bags. And so I'm just like, okay, let me file this claim. I can't believe this is happening to me. Because this is just after like all this other stuff happened, right? So I'm just like, oh my gosh. The universe, or like my ancestors, or God, wherever you believe in, they do not want me here. Like, this is just what I'm just thinking in my head. And it's like all the things, I'm like, this has just been a comedy of errors kind of day. And I'm just like, what did I do for all of this? Like, this just has to be a test. I'm just like, this has to be a test. Just has to be a test, right? And so I fill out all the paperwork and all that, and I'm trying so hard not to cry. And also, I forgot to also mention the other thing. Because of this whole entire thing of me flying all day and all this stuff, my phone's almost dead. So I can't even call the rent-a-car place because my phone is almost dead. So I actually had to like just take a huge like swallow and like eat of humble pie and ask them as I'm filling out the claims, like, hey, can I charge my phone while I'm talking to you guys? Because also the weird thing is at this airport, which I've never seen it at other airports, I could not find a thing where I could just charge it for free. They want me to pay for that. I'm like, I'm not paying to charge when I have a charger on me. I just need to port. Like, grinds my gears. I'm not doing it. But anyway, so because this is taking a while to talk to them and file this claim, I'm charging my phone with them, right? At the same time. And so I do all that, do this paperwork and everything else. And then after I do all this, I walk away. As I'm walking away, and I'm just like hunched over, just like sad, trying so hard not to just like lose it and cry in the middle of this airport. Which, by the way, this airport, because it's Vegas, I hate that I'm like this, but I was like, this isn't even a good first impression, because as soon as you walk out of the airport, there's just slot machines and gambling stuff everywhere. And so I'm just getting so turned off that I'm even here. And I feel so bad that I just was being just such a judgy girl. I was judging the hell out of the fact that, like, what is this? Like, and people like this? Like, I was just judging. It was so bad. So maybe I got this because I was judging. I don't know. Maybe this is why that happened. So I'm walking away though. And as I'm walking away, the guy runs out. He's like, "Oh my gosh, are those your bags right there?" And he points like where basically where the transfer bags would go when they're transfer, if you have a transfer flight. And my bags are right there. Yeah. All that over the fact that my bags were just right over there. And he's like, I forgot to just check that. The guy's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't even think of checking that. This, then, this, and that." And I'm just like, "So why did you think my bags were on O'Hare?" They were like, "Well, because sometimes they forget to scan bags. And when they forget to scan bags, we have no record of it. So because they never scanned my bags, they thought my bags were still in O'Hare, even though they were just right there." So the good news is because of that, he's like, hold up. "Stay right there. I'm going to get you a voucher. I'm so sorry for like your trouble." And I went from like wanting to cry to just thinking, oh my gosh, I was like unpunked. I must have been unpunked. I've been punked today. This is what's been happening. I am unpunked, right? And so, okay, this is fine. So I am now like, okay, the voucher ended up being like $150 voucher. And fortunately, it's my airline, so fine, I will use it. We know it's going to get used. And I already know what I'm using it for. Like, it's not even going to take that long. And I can use it for one way. I can't use it for both ways. I wish it was big enough for it to be both ways, but anyway. So I'm just like, okay, cool. At least one comes of that. But I still have this other problem. The rent-a-car situation now. It's been well over the 6 hours. Like, that window is gone. So now if I go to this place, it's not guaranteed I'm getting this rent-a-car. And I'm like, okay. And also too, because I overpack, I have like my carry-on, my purse, and then these 2 bags, which are actually quite big. So I'm like, okay, that fiasco's over with. I'm going to go outside now. I walk outside. There's a freaking dust storm outside. I have never been in a dust storm in real life. I didn't even, so I walk outside, literally am getting blinded by sand because there's a dust storm outside. So you remember how I mentioned the whole turbulence situation? Ta-da! Dust storm, a windstorm. And so fortunately, because I was working and knew I was going to be having a lot of like screen time as far as computers or whatnot, I had my work glasses on me. I put those on so quickly so that I actually can see and didn't have sand in my eyes. But I'm just like, oh my gosh. So now I'm thinking, thank God I actually have my bags, because what if like I didn't have my bags and I'm walking out there and I just have sand everywhere, and now I have to wear the sandy like outfit basically for a whole entire extra day. Sandy airport outfit. Yeah, anyway. So I'm heading to the rent-a-car place now after the sand of it all. And then I find out when I get to the rent-a-car place, it's funny. Not all the rent-a-car places are on site. So I found out that the one I need is not even on site. So now I have to go back out there to this dust storm to get my rent-a-car. So guess what? The time is still ticking, right? We're keeping track of this, right? Okay. I'm laughing now because it's funny because it all got resolved, but child, it was just a mess. So, okay. I finally get to my actual rent-a-car place that I'm using. Off-site, because I went the cheaper route. Whatever. But the thing that I messed up on and wish I would have done, and we're about to find out. People. Always. I repeat, always. Prepay for your rent-a-car if you can help it. Because if you prepay for a rent-a-car if you can help it, especially if you want to have like an affordable price and reasonable price, you go to your rent-a-car place, they have to give you your stuff because you already paid for it. This is the one time where I didn't do that. And guess what? I didn't get my rent-a-car that day. All that extra time of not eating and going in and out of a dust storm for no rent-a-car that day. My car was gone. Because about the time I got to the rent-a-car place, it's been well over the 6 hours. Now we're at 8. Because looking for my bags and everything else. Yeah. So instead of crying and losing my ish, because I really wanted to, I was like, we're going to try this again tomorrow. So I just went ahead, ordered me a Lyft, and got to the Airbnb. Because I was like, at least the Airbnb will not let me down. And it didn't. The Airbnb was the only thing that was like solid and is solid. And I'm still in the Airbnb and I'm like, this is great. It's not bad. It doesn't suck. It was the only thing that like really, gave what needs to be given. So basically, I just didn't have a car until next day. But one of the first things I did was, once I got to the Airbnb, I did 2 things. And I have clothes on. Like, come on now, I want to do that. Anyway, so one of the first things I did was I charged my phone because my phone was dead, remember? The phone situation was just like part of the whole problem. Because now I'm just like, okay, I'm getting this Airbnb, I'm getting this Lyft, but like my phone is dying still. Because again, when I got, and I forgot to mention, when I got to the baggage thing to try to get my bags, my phone was at 1%. Like it literally was about to die. So I charged it up to about 10%. So I'm just like checking the Lyft thing, but hoping that my phone won't die so I can get the Lyft. And so I got the Lyft. And so first thing I did is once I got in that Airbnb, charger, hooked it up and so it's good now. And the next thing I did was order Uber Eats because I needed food so badly. I was so hungry. I was beyond starving. So also, me dealing with all this on an empty stomach and somehow not losing my mind. I'm evolving. I'm evolving in the best way possible because I don't foresee that. That definitely wouldn't have happened like 2 years ago or even a year ago. The patience is getting better with age, and I'm just like, okay, cool. So then the other thing that I did as I'm like waiting on the food, it's like, okay, I'm in the Airbnb. I have food on the way now. Like all these things in my head, I'm like, okay, these things are done now. Next thing, prepay for this rent-a-car, but not at the airport, because another pro tip that I forgot, and I literally did a similar thing in California, and I don't know why I forgot that this is a thing. Sometimes it makes more sense to lift from the airport to your place of Airbnb and then take a Lyft one more time to a rent-a-car place, but just get the rent-a-car not at the airport. Get it like at a regular rent-a-car place, because the airport rates are way more expensive if you wait till last minute to get your rent-a-car. If you do it early enough, it evens out. But in my case, because I was last minute, I was like, crap, okay. So let me go ahead and let me find a rent-a-car place that isn't the airport. And So basically, I prepaid that same night once I got to the Airbnb and paid for it. So, and I also scheduled it where I could just get it after work. And that's what I did. So, fast forward, day 2/day 1, full day of being in Vegas. I ended up getting my rent-a-car at 3 p.m. Actually, almost 4. So right before they closed, and got the one I have right now, and all worked out. And I paid pretty much a similar rate as what I would have paid if I would have got the rent-a-car originally. Isn't that great? Anyway, so that concludes the story time of how it was just rough from jump on me getting here. And that's why I'm just going to keep doing this, smiling. Because in the words of Beyonce, you're not going to break my soul. We're just going to roll with it. We're in the Matrix. And it's fine. It's all fine. It's fine. Like, people joke with me about this, and I'm not as sinister about it anymore. Now it's more comedy style when it comes to me thinking this way. But people are just like, you literally are that dog, the meme of the dog where everything around him is on fire, and you're just like, everything's fine. Yeah, I kind of am that, but now I really do believe it. Before, it was more like I really was distressed like that, and now I'm just like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway,